Coming up on today's show, we are talking about summertime. You don't want to miss it. Hello, darlings, and welcome to Wake Up and Show Up Live. I am your host, Portia Scott, and this is your daily dose of inspiration and empowerment. I'm super excited to see everyone. I missed you guys yesterday. I missed you. If anyone noticed, I didn't come on yesterday because life is out here happening. And so, but I want to thank you all for joining. Bobby, thank you so much for joining, darling. Val, thank you so much for joining, darling. I love it. It is a beautiful, beautiful day here in Atlanta, north of Atlanta, where I am. And I'm super excited about it. Jasmine, thank you so much for joining, darling. As you guys can see, I am having all kind of stuff going on, but we're going to have this show. Listen, it is summertime and we are going to talk about it. It is going to be fun. This is going to be a great show. So you guys know how we do. What we say is, what in the world are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? You know, when I was growing up, many of you guys may know if you've ever listened to, hi, Tiffany. Hi, Zetta. Thank you guys for joining, darling. If you guys ever listen to the podcast or you ever hear me, I talk about my dad. And when I was growing up, so Jasmine and Zetta are my younger sisters. And when I was growing up, my father always instilled in us, you guys don't fight. Like, we don't fight, you know, because we were all we had, right? Is your family. And so I'm so grateful for that, because although sometimes the waters get mucky and murky a little bit as it pertains to that, but I'm so grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my immediate family, but I'm also grateful for my extended family. And so my father was just and is just an amazing man, and how he instilled in us the value of family and being able to work things out. And so me and my sisters, you know, we talk all the time, we get upset at each other, but we have, because of what he instilled, we have the tools that we need to talk it out, right? Or the tools that we need to not let it go so far, or the tools that we need to understand how important they are. And so I'm just so grateful for that. Like, I'm grateful for, in particular, my sisters, you know? And so anyway, getting choked up, but I love my sisters. And so I know Rosetta said there aren't enough characters available for me to tell what I'm grateful for. I get it. But yeah, I'm super grateful for my family. And so what are you guys grateful for today? Thomas, I know, as always, you're always grateful for your girl. So thank you. I know you didn't chime in. I'm chiming in. She said, I'm thankful for my sister, polar opposites of each other, but truly amazing. Yes, it's so funny. It's three girls. And we are all 5 years apart. So I'm 5 years apart from my middle sister. My middle sister is 5 years apart from my baby sister. So me and my baby sister are 10 years apart. And when you're younger, that's such a big chasm. But when you get older, it's like nothing. You know, we talk all the time, we hang out. So it's just amazing. I love it. Thomas is thankful for family time. I think it's so important. I always say this, that even in the midst of craziness going on, whether you're high or whether you're low, it's so important that we talk about what we're grateful for. Why? Because it absolutely changes our perspective. It changes how we see the world and how we see things that are going on. And it's much, much easier to complain. Believe me, I know it because I do it. I've been guilty of that, complaining. But even in that, I have to take a step back and say, you know what? But I'm so grateful for this. Even if it's like a minuscule of hope, I'm still grateful for it. So you guys just keep coming in, keep letting me know what you are grateful for. I'm super excited. You guys, I want to keep in touch with you. And the way that we do that is if you text the phrase wake up to 31996, text the phrase wake up to 31996. That will let us know who you are, and we can text you, but that will also keep you in the know of what we're doing. We'll notify you whenever a podcast goes live. We'll notify you whenever we're going live. We do it every single Monday to let you know so you can get your workday together and prepare for that 12 o'clock time. Also, we try to send some inspiration and empowerment your way via text, but we also ask if you want to give your email. I know sometimes you don't want to email. Text is easy, so we give that to you. So if you want to keep in touch with us, text the phrase "wake up" to 31996. So you guys, how in the world is everyone doing today? One of the things that I talked about and I said is we're going to talk about summer. Who is excited about the summertime? Listen, I said that summertime is for parents, and I'm going to tell you why. I want to read this quote really, really quickly. It says, "I love how summer just wraps its arms around you like a warm blanket." Kelly Elmore. I love how summer just wraps its arms around you like a warm blanket. Is anyone like me? And there's two things about me. She said, "I'm also grateful for peanut butter. I had no clue how much I was undermining its greatness before this fitness." Girl, who are you telling? So we're also on this fitness challenge called the Heat Challenge. And child, we are out here just trying to make it. And plus, we're fasting. So it's so I'm out here trying to make it. So pray for your sister. But listen, I love summer. Like, I love the heat of summer. I know a lot of people don't like heat, but, it to be super hot, but I love the heat of summer. I love basking in it, And so summer just has this kindness, this warmth to it. It's a freedom that summer has. And so I remember that before I had children, before I became a parent, I loved summer, but it was kind of like, after you graduate from high school, college, you're like, well, I'm still working during the summer. Yeah, I go on vacation, but Monday through Friday, I'm still working. Saturday and Sunday is the same, but it's just hot, right? And so, but when I became a parent, I realized that summer was created for parents, because now during the summer, I don't have any work to do. I don't have any homework to do. I don't have any projects to do. I don't have to fix lunches at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't have to fuss with kids to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I don't have any teacher days that I need to do. I'm telling you, tuition stops coming. You know what I mean? In the summertime. So there's so much that happens in the summertime. Ray, thank you for joining. Ayana, thank you for joining. So for me, summertime is freedom. Like, summertime is freedom for me, because I'm like, listen, and I have this saying in my house, you can judge me if you want to, but I have this saying in my house that during the summer, I don't parent. I do not parent during the summer. Judge me later. But listen, what I'm saying is that I'm a little more free with my kids during the summer, right? Because we're not on this fast-paced schedule. And last year was actually the first summer ever since I got out of high school that I had a summer off. And last year I got to spend the entire summer with my kids. And not only with my kids, but with an adopted daughter who is one of my daughter's best friends. And let me tell you, summer is great, but summer is awesome with kids, because for me, like, summer as a parent, when I say I don't parent, it means that, I let my kids stay up a little bit longer. I let them eat a little bit more sweets. I let them have the freedom of being kids a little more, and not like, we do work and we make sure that they're still staying up on their school stuff and reading and math and things like that. But I don't make it such a thing, because what I realize is that oftentimes we put our own expectations on our children sometime, or our own, if we were lacking in an area, we seem to put that more on our children, right? Because we often live vicariously through our children. And granted, we were in labor for so long. Labor pains are terrible. I mean, stitches in places that they shouldn't be, all kind of stuff. Who's called? The school is calling because they done acted up like they don't have home training. Come on, but I think we do live vicariously through them. So on the summer, I take a step back and I tell you, I don't parent. I don't parent. I like to say I don't parent. They be like, "Can I have?" Yep, you can have it. Go ahead, be free. And so for me, with my kids is that I give them room to be them, because sometime during the school year, I like to, they have to be on their best behavior. They have to be the best child. They have to get A's, and sometimes B is not even a thing, and so it allows them to be themselves. And when you watch them be themselves, it is the most amazing thing ever, when they're simply at the core in their pajamas, eating their cereal and just being them, just being silly, just being witty, just with their candor and their humor. It is the most amazing thing. And so I allow them to be them during the summer. I give them room to play. So, and on the weekends too, but on the school, I know y'all parents out there know what I'm talking about. During the school week, I mean, it is homework upon homework upon. Listen, I I don't want to do another project. I don't want to write another paper. I'm tired. And by the time school ends, every parent is like, yes, I've made it, because we're behind them doing all that stuff. And so I let them play, right? Run around the house. It's fine. You know, Go outside and roll in the grass or do whatever you want to. I give them the opportunity to play. And it is in their playfulness that I begin to play, that I lose some of those parenting inhibitions, for lack of a better word. And I'm hiding in closets with them. I'm hiding in the garage, in the car. I'm like getting into it and playing with them. I'm playing sardines. We're in the attic. And so it just gives them that opportunity to be themselves. And I think it's so important that even us, that we give ourselves permission to play, to be ourselves. And then it's a time that I give them time to imagine, right? Because they have this month or these 2 months where they can imagine what the next school year is going to be like, or what could they do. And I feel like it just gives them, it takes the chains and the limits off. It's freedom. To me, summer spells freedom. It's vacations. It's playing in the water. You have not gone swimming for real until you've gone swimming with kids, until they're pitter-paddling around in the water, spraying you and squirting you, doing cannonballs. And it is those things that is like, if we take them for granted, or if we miss them, if we miss that smile as they go into the water, if we miss that laughter as you're tickling them, or the fact that you were able to bring snacks, it's the same snacks they get here, but some reason snacks. Hey guys, I'm back. I hope you guys are back. Come in, come in, come in. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, listen, life doesn't want me to be great. The internet doesn't want me to be great. What is going on? If you guys are in, say hello, darling. Hello, darling. Hello, darling. So I know that you guys are back. Come on in. I am back. So I don't know what happened. Hey, Paula. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Let me tell you something. Listen. We thought we were purchasing some really good fiber, AT&T fiber internet. It is trash. I'm telling you, it is terrible. Honestly, we got a new modem. We have two different, like, I guess, SSIDs where we can all get on something, but this is trash. So if anybody knows any great internet providers, I will be happy to listen, because this fiber is, and we have the most expensive one because we're all home. And I know COVID, but let me tell you something. This was happening pre-COVID. Anyway, I digress. So we were talking about just giving them room to imagine, and to think about what it could be, what they could do. I talked to my daughter yesterday. Many of you guys know she models and she acts and things like that. And so she hasn't done anything in a little bit, especially with COVID. And then during the school year, I'm very careful about how much she has on her plate, because education is first, even though she's super duper talented. So yesterday she says, I want to own my own business. I want to make money for myself. And I was so proud. I was so proud. But it is because you give them the opportunity to, my internet did the same thing on my live. That's crazy. You give them the opportunity to imagine. And for me, it's the same thing. That summertime gives me the time to play, imagine, and to learn. And so I want to ask, what is one kiddie activity that you still do? One of the things that I still love is that I don't like going to, okay, so I love the beach. I love water. I can swim like a fish, but the beach for me is just to like relax, lay down and, listen to the water. And anytime I'm like near a big body of water, I feel like water is like my spirit, is because it just gives me revelation. I'm super creative near water, all of these things near water. But what I don't like is I don't mind the sand, but I can't get in the beach water and then get on the sand because of mud, right? And I got like a slight problem with mud. And so, but what I do like is I love just being on the beach and just my feet touching the sand, especially when it's super hot. I know it's crazy. Pray for me, especially when it's super hot. I'm like, oh, this feels so good. This is amazing, And so that's one of the things that I like. But what is your kiddie activity? What is the thing that causes you to like dream again? Causes you to imagine, causes you to have this freedom in who it is that you are. And I feel like for me, that's what summertime says to me. It is going on vacation, and we oftentimes go on vacation and we're inspired. And so what is that kiddie thing that you still do? What is that thing that you love to do that you probably wouldn't tell anybody, but you love to do it, and it brings you back to your childhood, or it brings you back to creativity, or remind you of something you loved to do once? So I want to know what that is. So put it in the comments what that is. And so one thing that it allows us to do is it allows us to put our guards down. And so while I wanted to talk about summer, I really wanted to talk to each of you about letting your guards down, about being free, about playing, about learning, and just that freedom in finding out who it is that you are. Letting yourself enjoy this summertime and being okay with exactly who you are. One of the people that I love, I watch him as much as possible. It's two people, but I love Trevor Noah and I love Hassan Minhaj. And so Trevor, because he's super funny, he does the Daily Show and he's super funny. And Hassan, he has this show called The Patriot Act. And I love it because whoever he works with, whoever his team is, like, they are just like, he's giving facts, but he's super funny. And I love it. And so, but one of the things I realized is that I'm not a comedian. So I'm probably not going to come on here and make you laugh, but I have to be okay with that, right? I have to be okay with the thing that I bring to the table. And so I think that's so, that's so important that we realize that, yes, I love what they do and I can appreciate what they do, but that doesn't take away from who I am. And I can live in the freedom. I can go and I can do cannonballs in the pool and I can do all these things. Jasmine says, going out for ice cream late into the night and riding in a parking lot at midnight. Yes, going out for ice cream, definitely. I love it. I let go when I'm home with childhood friends. Absolutely. It's that nostalgia, right? It's like just serendipity. It's just, it makes you feel like a kid again. There's certain smells and there's certain things that you do that make you feel like a kid again. But I wanted to talk to you because in case you didn't realize, I didn't show up yesterday because I had family that needed me and I needed to tend to that. And that's very important to me. And one of the things that I made a commitment to my family is that I'm going to be there for them. I'm going to show up for them. I talked about my sisters in the beginning, as well as just my family, my husband and my children. And so I needed to tend to that. And then number two is that I have an executive producer. I don't know if Daryl is on. Shout out to Daryl. You guys don't see him, but he's my producer for the podcast. He also produces Marty. Many of you guys know Marty Sellers, Mental Health Matters with Marty, that podcast. He helps produce that. And then the weekly show that we do, the weekly COVID-19 show that we do, when you see all the slides moving and everything moving, that is Daryl. He's behind the scenes. We work together strategically. And so he actually has a full-time job. So he can't produce this show. And I do it myself. So that's the writing, that's the showing up, that's the artwork. It's everything. I do it by myself. And so sometimes it's hard. It's a one-woman show. And I love it. Let me tell you, some days I'm like, oh my goodness. And I get on the show and it just like, it's my thing. It's my thing. I love it. It's just when I'm speaking, like sometimes I'm super nervous. I'm always nervous. And I'm always nervous the moment I say the first word. And then I see people or something and it just like, it excites me. I can't explain it, right? It just makes me blush. Like even now you could probably see it because I get so excited about being able to inspire people, to talk to people I don't know. And so I love this show, but it is a one-woman show. And so I don't always have the bandwidth that I'd like. And one of the things is we're going into July, and I really do want to spend time with my children while still creating content that matters to you guys. And that matters to me, and content that's going to make us show up intentionally and just do what we need to do. And I'm committed to that. That I'm committed to. But after next week, we are going to a new schedule. But I also want to hear your feedback because I think it's totally important. So you guys are probably like, Portia, you always tell us to do a survey. The reason why is because I want to capture the voice of my customer. And the way that you do that a lot of times is through feedback, just like this, through surveys. It's so important. Okay, can I just put on my business hat? But it's so important that you understand the voice of your customer, because if you don't, you will be delivering something that's good to you, but not good to them. And I never want to be able to do that. So even as I do business coaching, as I speak and all this stuff, I always ask people, what is your pain point? What is your thing? What do you need me to do? So then I understand how I can deliver. And the way that I deliver is understanding the voice of my customer. That's why you guys are probably like, I'm tired. I did like 1,000 surveys for you and you ask a lot of questions. This is why, because I want to produce stuff that makes sense to you and not just stuff that I think is good. So one of the things, so we're initially going to start out with Mondays. So a great way to start our week, we're going to start out with Mondays. So I will be live every single Monday. But as part of that Monday, I'm trying to bring people in. I'd love to do Monday and Friday. So coming into the week and then like pushing us out of the week, that would be incredible. I would love to do that. But what I do know that I can promise and that I can show up in is a Monday. And so I'm going to show up every Monday, but we're also putting together a collection of videos that we'll put out throughout the week, so that it may not be live interaction, but I still want you to interact with the videos. I still want you to, like and share the same ways that you do the live videos. But I did want to tell you that we're keeping it at 12 o'clock. But I want to ask you guys, is 12 o'clock a good time for you? Is 12 still a good time? We're going into, people are going back into work. We're going into the summer. Is 12 o'clock still a good time? So let me know. Yes, yes, yes. No, 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 whatever it is. And we'll look at that. So right now it's Mondays at 12 o'clock, but we'll also be pushing out a couple other videos throughout the week. So you still get your daily dose of inspiration and empowerment. So let me know. Let me know if 12 o'clock is still a good time for you. I know there's a delay, so I'll just kind of keep going while you guys do that. And then another thing is that behind the scenes, I have a team of 3 people that help me out. I have my EP, I have a production manager, and then I have a community relations, a corporate relations director. And so that person helps us with sponsorships and things like that, right? Advertisement and all of that stuff. So if you guys are a small business and you'd love to advertise on our podcast, I'd love to hear from you. If you're writing a book and you want to sponsor a podcast episode or even a daily show episode, I'd love to hear from you. But these people do a lot of the work behind the scenes. They help edit the podcast. They help send out emails and all of that stuff. So I appreciate that, Tiffany. Thank you so much. They do so much stuff, right? And we're also working on another show that I'm super excited about. That is a 4th person who is actually the show. She actually had the idea for the show. So I never take credit for somebody else, but they just brought it to us as a media company. They brought it to us to say, hey, I think this is a show. And I think that show is going to be incredible. One of the things that's going to happen, though, is that we are slowly but surely starting to move over to YouTube. We're starting to move over to YouTube. Don't worry, we're still going to be here on Facebook, but we are moving over to YouTube. So if you are in, I want you to go, and I'm going to ask if you would go and like our YouTube channel. It's funny because I just changed the name. It was Wake Up with Portia Scott, but now it's under Portia Scott Media. So on YouTube, it's under Portia Scott Media. And so if you would do me a favor, go like our YouTube page and click the notification bell. Why? Because as we move over there, you will get your notifications. So I want to tell you the one reason is YouTube does 2 things, right? It gives us more exposure. So Essence, here we come. When people are looking for shows, they very rarely look in Facebook, but they go to YouTube. When you're looking for inspiration, it's very hard to search Facebook that way that you do in YouTube. You can go to inspirational, motivational speakers. You can go to living intentionally. You can go to podcasts. You can do all of that stuff. Hey, Arlene, thank you so much for joining, darling. Arlena, you can do all that stuff in YouTube that it doesn't allow us to do here on Facebook. And so we really want to bring you a high quality show, as well as the other shows that are coming, as well as the weekly show that so many of you guys love on Sundays. So we want to make sure that we bring you better program, but also that we're able to get more brand exposure. And that is the truth for us. And then 2, it allows us to monetize. What does that mean? That means that the people who work on the back end, those 3 people that I talked about, I would love to be able to bring them in part-time. So we have sponsorships, we have different things going on within the media company. But I want to be able to bring them on part-time, and not just with a living wage, but to make sure that I'm paying them what they're worth. One of the things that, if you've ever heard me, is that I want to be able to, thank you, Tiffany. Thank you so much. I want to be able to hire people. I want to be able to buy homes and cars for people. I want to be able to give people a chance that somebody else didn't to work in our company. And so this gives us a way to be seen. And so we want to make sure that we're able to monetize. And the way we monetize it, you all know, by more views, by more exposure. Facebook doesn't give us that opportunity to do that. And so YouTube will give us that opportunity. So as we move over, know that we don't want to leave you guys behind. We want to take you with us, which is why we will continue to do this over the next couple of weeks so that you'll know what's happening. But what we will promise is that we will embed those links in Facebook so that you can go and watch it from Facebook. But remember, so many times people who want to hear the show can't because they don't have social media. Social media isn't maybe good for their mental health, but they could go to YouTube because they're okay with watching a video or seeing something that they can control. And so that gives us another opportunity for another audience. And so those are the things, we say in Portia Scott Media that we just don't want to provide content, but we want to provide careers. And we are creating a kinder world. And that means sometimes reaching the unreachable and giving them a chance to win. That's my heart. I love creating content. I love being with you guys. But one of the things that this allows me to do, creating content and building a business allows me to do, is give to others. So I have the awesome opportunity to serve as executive pastor and affectionately called First Lady at Christ Culture Church. Christ Culture Church here in Atlanta. And one of the things we always talk about is taking Christ to culture. And so when we show up in kindness, when we show up in love, people are more willing to hear the messages that we have, whether we're Christian, whether we're Buddhist, whether we're nothing, but we're just trying to help humanity. The way people understand is the way we make them feel. And so YouTube just gives us a chance to really start to hone in on some of that stuff and build our platform so that we can monetize from there. And lastly, if you haven't taken the survey, I ask that I didn't put the link in here, but I will put the link into I'll update. What I'll do is I'll update this and I'll put the link in there so you get to have the survey. But listen, if you don't want to take the survey, but you just want to tell me, these are some of the things. What are some of the subjects that you'd like to hear? What are some of the things, whether it's me or somebody else, because I have a load of people that are going to start coming on the show. So we're going to start talking about money management. We're going to start talking about parenting. Next week, I'm super excited. I'm going to tell you guys about that in a minute. We're going to start talking about business and things like that, helping you out. We're going to start talking about all kinds of things, but I want to make sure, again, that I'm bringing the content that you want to hear. So that's why the survey is so important. Also, do you want to hear current events on the show and my take of it? Or is that something for somebody else? You don't come here for that. You go somewhere else for that. I want to know that as well. And then next week, I will be out Monday and Wednesday. But Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, guess what? I'm having a Father's Day series, and we are going to highlight some amazing fathers doing amazing things. Hey, Thomas! Yeah, hello from YouTube. Thank you so much. And so I want you guys to be here. We're going to talk to men because so often they get swept under the rug because of the majority of things that we hear in the media, that we see, that sometimes fathers that are doing amazing things are oftentimes not heard. And I want to make sure that those voices are heard. And so I'm giving them a platform this week. Next week is going to be a Father's Day series. On Sunday, we're leading into that because June is Men's Health Month. And so I want to make sure that you guys are there this Sunday at 7 p.m. We're going to do a small bit about our COVID because we're going to keep you updated on that. But it's going to be a panel of all men. So my husband is hosting it along with Doc and along with Marty. And we're going to talk about men's health, which is so important because even if we're not men, we can see stuff within the men in our family and the men that we love and say, hey, you probably need to go get checked out, or you need to maybe listen to this so you can talk about stuff, right? Men, for my age group, for my target market, a lot of you guys are between 30 and 55. And so as you get older, stuff start to happen. You want to be on that call. And so I think that's it. My big thing was that I wanted you guys to know how we're shifting, why we're shifting. I think it's important. I always want to be honest. I always want to be upfront. And so to let you know why we're shifting, how we're shifting, and where we're shifting. So again, you guys can go over to Portia Scott Media on YouTube. I ask that you subscribe. Click the bell so that you will be notified. And as we start to move stuff over, we'll keep you informed on what's going on. So you guys, I appreciate it. Thank you for listening. It was a little bit longer today. I usually go 30 minutes, but I wanted to make sure that you knew what we were doing, why I was moving out. I'm kind of cutting this short, this daily show short because we have some other stuff that we're doing, and I'm super duper excited. I'm so excited about the opportunities that I get. And sometimes when I see them, they don't seem like opportunities because it's not this big, massive thing. It's not this big, massive amount of money, but the amount of impact that it has on people, that I am excited to be in the position. And so I want to take you guys along for the ride. One of the other things, I never discount our community. And there's so many people in our community that have stories, that have different things. And if there is a story that you want to tell, I always ask, DM me, PM me. You can always email me at hello@portiascott.com. Tag me. It's another lady I'm bringing on. I got tagged in another live for somebody that I should bring on the show, and she was absolutely amazing. So if there's people that you know that you want to see on the show that would be an inspiration, that have a story to tell, we always say that we tell stories and interviews that weave together life's pivotal moments and the decisions made to show up. What does that mean? It just means that in a decision point that I made a decision to show up. Maybe I had, we had Marquita Good Luck on, and she had breast cancer, and how she showed up and started writing books for other people. So amazing. Next week, we're going to have an amazing podcast. If you are not subscribed to the podcast is Wake Up and Show Up with Portia Scott, and we are going to have Let's-Go Zulu on, and she tells her story of love, of tragedy, and living intentionally. It is an amazing story. She is an amazing woman, and it's just so good. And so she talks about losing her husband on Mount Kilimanjaro. And so we get to hear her story. But not only that, she's always lived a life intentionally, and how she is changing lives even now through various organizations. And so you guys, you don't want to miss this stuff. Why? Because it helps us. When I hear those stories, it helps me keep going. As a business owner, it's hard. And I'm telling you, you see all the fun stuff on Instagram. Y'all, listen, it is hard out here, but it's so fulfilling for my soul. But I have those days where I'm crying and I need to turn on somebody's interview. So I know, girl, you can make it. You can do it. You got this. And so I just want to tell you guys, you got this. You can make it. You can do it. And everything that you need, your strength, your patience, and your passions, they reside on the inside of you. So you guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for texting and all the things that you do to support me. They do not go unnoticed. I'm so excited, and I love, love, love this community. And so you guys have an incredible weekend. Be back here Sunday at 7 p.m. as we celebrate Men's Health Month with a panel discussion on men's health, their physiological health, as well as their mental health. So you guys know how we do. We don't end any show without this declaration. Waking up is automatic. Showing up is intentional. Today, I will show up. Talk to you guys soon.